report on throughout the weeks. It's going to be exciting. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, Lon has some great books, too. So you need to check those out on Amazon. So we'll be back after these.
One day while reading history, I paused to take a sigh about the land Afghanistan, where empires go to die. Alexander the Great, he tried and failed. The Mongols, they did too. The British and the Russians, they got their ass kicked too. America's been there many years, and I ask myself why we don't learn from history, where empires go to die. They say it's terrorism, that's political malarkey. Just follow where the money goes to a corporate oligarchy. The food crops they once grew with a plow and a hoe been turned into opium poppies, growing row on row. Our infrastructure's crumbling, our social structure too. It's a corporate scam, they don't give a damn while screwing over me and you.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And here I am, the day before Thanksgiving. Halloween. God, I'm thinking about Thanksgiving now because you know what? I am hungry for a turkey.
I was going to say, would you move to Canada or something? Where are you celebrating this?
I don't know. I just got these two dogs running through the house, and even the studio is well insulated. I can hear the thumping of their little paws, or huge paws, going up and down. I don't know if we have our guest on here or not. We'll find out. Is anybody on this line?
Yes, it is.
And who do we have?
We have Lon Strickler.
Hi, Lon. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay.
Hello, Lon.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
So, hey, Lon, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been doing this for about 40 years, and that includes investigation paranormal, and a little here and a little there. It's kind of come into a lot of different things over the years. Published the phantomsandmonsters.com blog, and I've been doing that since 2005. I've written 7 books, and I am part of a investigative team called Phantoms and Monsters Fortean Research, which investigates phenomena nationwide in Canada, for the most part in Pennsylvania, but one of our biggest cases, which continues to this day, is the Chicago Mothman phenomena. And I am a radio host at Arcane Radio, and I guess that's about it.
Oh, wow. How do you have time for all this?
I don't, be honest with you. I really don't. I kind of squeeze it in there.
Well, it would be hard between writing all the books, doing a radio show. You know, I do my show 5 days a week, and I'll tell you, I spend 12 hours a day preparing for the show, booking guests, making sure the equipment is working, and then we're going to be going to 4 hours a day shortly. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll do it somehow. But how do you have time to write these books, do a radio show, have a family life, and probably go on, I hate to say it, conferences, I bet, quite a bit? I bet you do.
I really don't do a whole lot of conferences. I will occasionally do an appearance, but other than that, I'm pretty well a homebody or involved in what the cases I'm involved with. I've been disabled now since 2001, but I do get around. It's just I don't get into the field as much as I used to. But I'm lucky enough to have some very good associates and investigators who have been kind enough to work with me. And all in all, we have a pretty good team. So, yeah, it does keep me busy, but, I'm kind of used to it by now.
No, I've been doing radio since 1976. I'm still not used to it, but I'm trying. But I got to ask you a question. Mothman, what is going on that? Because I get reports on a daily basis from people out there claiming they're seeing Mothman everywhere. I mean, from Texas to the East Coast to California, it's been a lot of reports lately. What is going on?
Well, the name Mothman is kind of misnomer. People are referring to the winged humanoid from Point Pleasant, West Virginia in 66 and 67. That had the wings that were shaped like that of a moth. The body was kind of it was kind of a regular sized human body, and the thing had distinctive red eyes. Now, what people are seeing for the most part now is a tall, emaciated body with legs and arms. Sometimes the arms are attached to the wing, sometimes it's separated from the wing, and the wing itself can go anywhere from 10 to 15 foot in span, and it's usually shaped like that of a bat. Now, some of the witnesses have reported seeing red eyes. We had a blue-eyed being. We've had some yellow-eyed beings. Some just didn't have any eye shine at all. So, but the phenomena that's been going on in and around Chicago, into Indiana, Illinois, and southern Wisconsin, has, most of the sightings have been very similar. So I believe we do have several beings that are being seen, and we've had some sightings recently within the Chicago area that, it kind of makes you wonder. They've been close to the airport, been close to O'Hare International. We have also had a few north of the city in another town. So, yeah, I mean, it's not something we, investigated starting in 2017 and just stopped. It's something that's really continuing to go and to go on. And at this point now, we have approximately 88, I'd say, sightings that we have deemed credible.
That is a lot. Now, any of these sightings have these, whatever these creatures are, cryptids, have they been unfriendly towards humans? Has there been any reports of them trying to attack humans, animals, livestock, anything?
Well, there have been reports of some type of aggression, basically that this thing would kind of follow people or suddenly appear in front of people. If sometimes would let out a scream, it would kind of take an aggressive posture. But beyond that, it hasn't been that much.
Oh, wow. Now, is there any other cryptids that might rival like a Mothman? Because I've had a couple truckers tell me that they've seen Mothman, but they've been aggressive where they have followed the trucks or done stuff like that.
Oh, I have no doubt there are a wide variety of winged humanoid type beings or other winged cryptids out there. Over the years, we received a vast amount of different reports, anywhere from, like I said, the humanoid type beings or something that resembles a thunderbird or large blackbird to something that also resembles a pterosaur or a pterodactyl. All these have been reported.
Now, can you explain what a thunderbird is? Because to the listeners, a lot of them don't even know what a thunderbird is.
Well, thunderbird is basically a being that came from the indigenous people, the First Nations. It was seen as a god, but it was a large bird that was kind of looked like maybe a large crow or large raven that had extraordinary dimensions, 10 to 15 foot in width. It was said that it could possibly pick up small children or animals and take off with them. There was an incident in Lawndale, Illinois, back in the 60s where a woman claimed that this thing had picked her son up and taken it some short distance and then dropped him. But there have been other sightings as well, and the Midwest is pretty ripe for those sightings. Indiana and Illinois are pretty well known for similar type sightings.
Interesting. So how about like dogs disappearing and stuff like that because of these cryptids? Has there been a lot of reports?
Yeah, it's possible. It's very possible. As far as what's been going on in Chicago and what we've been hearing, there really hasn't been any reports of missing animals. So it doesn't really seem that that's what they're doing, that there may be another reason why they're there.
Interesting, because the reason why I say that, one of my regular guests that comes on about once a month, he runs a museum in Mount Blanco, Texas. And one of his best friends, her best friend actually, was going home. Now they live in a very, area where there's not much population. And on the road, she thought she hit a human being. So she stopped her car, and here's this person, she thought, staring at her. And she gets out of the car. And then that's when she notices, well, this thing has wings. And then supposedly it took off. But it actually did damage on the front fender on the driver's side where she hit it. But that wasn't the only time. Again, about 2 or 3 months later, she saw the same type of thing on the same road again, and this time it was following her and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know which is true or not true. But if these things exist, it just kind of throws out everything we learned in school. I'll tell you that much.
Well, there have been cases where people claim that these things have followed them while they were driving. The original Mothman cases in Point Pleasant. The witnesses who had seen this thing at the West Virginia Ordnance Works claimed that this thing would chase them down the road out of the area. I have talked to people also in West Virginia along the Ohio River who have also been chased by these red-eyed winged beings. I had a case just east of Cleveland about 3 years ago, where a gentleman had a panel truck, a large panel truck with the back end with the cargo area that extended above the cab, and he said he hit one of these things, and it hit the front of the right above the cab into the cargo and rolled over the top and fell to the road. He stopped the truck, looked at it, said thing got up, had red eyes, and just took off. And there were some marks on the front of that cargo area.
Now, that would be really scary. I know that one trucker sent me a message, a couple weeks back. He claimed he was going, again, through Texas. And all of a sudden he saw, well, a Mothman or something like that, just fly right by his, cab window. And it really scared him. It's a lot of these reports. It seems like there's been more of it lately than it has been for years. Now, does it go through a cycle, or is it just, how can I say it? People read about it and then they imaginate about it?
That is always possible, but, I think people are less afraid to come forward nowadays. Of course,